Garden Chatter drowns out I-35's usual hubbub in East Austin's Festival Beach Food Forest and Community Garden. Volunteers tend the Food Forest pilot project on 2/3 of an acre. In 2014, the City of Austin approved the master plan for an eventual 3-acre food forest in the park near Lady Bird Lake.
Met Jody and one of our other founders at a food deserts workshop here in East Austin.
I lived not too far away, down the street in 2012, and was watching the master plan effort of this whole park area, a 90-acre area. And we just started to gather in our backyards and talk about what the community wanted for the park. They wanted to keep it really family-oriented, really quiet, tranquil. So we started to talk with them about what can we do?
The project is twofold. It's about addressing food deserts and free food in a public space, open to anybody that wants to come and feast off of the produce as it develops over time. But it's also about building community bonds and bringing community together.
So what is a food forest? Basically, it's a 7-layer agricultural strategy where plants from trees to ground covers support each other. Volunteers dug out Bermuda grass, an ongoing process, and excavated soil to build berms and swales.
The berms and swales are designed to help slow down the water, and then the berms become like a fertile planting bed.
Into that, we mixed compost, and each and every plant that went in to the ground had a lot of compost mixed in with it.
They also built berms with donated soil, nitrogen-fixing cover crops in rich roots. When it's time to harvest them, volunteers chop and drop to continue nourishing the soil.
And we're seeing what works and we're seeing what doesn't work, and we're trying to demonstrate that to the community.
We have work days every month on second Saturdays, where we have anywhere from 10 to 30 volunteers at a time.
We've received several grants that have helped us purchase plants and materials to be able to create the food forest. So we partnered with Tree Folks to do the initial planning, where we received a grant.
Just looking down this berm right here, elderberry, loquat, we've got plum, we've got persimmons, we've got peaches, we've got figs, we've got mulberries, we've got escarpment black cherry, we've got some interesting plants like the Arizona cypress that you can't eat much of it, but if you get in a pinch for vitamin C, you can get some from the bark. We've got edible bamboo, and then we have some native plants like agarita and plans to put in some more edible cactus species, some sotol. So that's kind of our upper layer. We have the tree layer of our edible forest garden. And then this last November, we planted almost 1,000 understory plants, which are herbaceous perennials, annuals, and woody perennials. Woody perennials are things like American beautyberry. We've got a row of grapes over here. And then in the herbaceous layer, we've got oregano that's doing really well at taking over and competing against the Bermuda. The yarrow's filling in fantastically. We've got lavenders. We have different mints and lemon balm and echinacea.
My supervisor at the Austin Community Foundation brought her little kids, I think 5 and 7, and one of the little girls was working, and she said, "Mom, it smells like tacos." And so she's like, "What are you talking about?" And the little girl ran around and found some cilantro.
With the City of Austin grant, they installed an ADA accessible path from the Rebecca Baines Johnson Center, Independent Living for Seniors.
Before, there was just a little footpath where this nice gravel trail is, and some of them struggled, or especially if they were on wheelchairs. So now they're really happy. They can come, they can stroll and sit. One lady comes and visits her little fig tree, this Asian, that she planted 2 years ago.
Even though we're in the middle of the city, you can see the skyline, connecting people to where food comes from and the environment, and getting their hands dirty in an enjoyable way, and in a fence-free environment is really important to me.
Lots of folks get dirty hands next door at the Festival Beach Community Garden. Plots cost $50 a year.
I got involved in the community garden because my home has a lot of trees that were very shady. This was in 2010, and especially because then the neighborhood was changing. I need to find out who these people are and get to know some of the different neighbors, people outside of my little circle. We're broken up into different stewardship teams. We have the herb garden. Along this fence, we have grapes and berries, and that's another team. The other end, there's the orchard, so that's another team.
We do have pears, we have apples, we have peaches, we have olives, guayabas, persimmons, figs.
There's another team that handles the perennial beds, which is the entrance. There's another gal that does habitat, and they're just little spots.
The compost peddlers pump up the compost pile.
We have a partnership also since we began with the Multicultural Refugee Center.
I learn a lot from them too, and things that I normally wouldn't have eaten, but I try it because they're offering it to me. It's like, well, it's worth giving it a try. You never know if you're gonna like it. One thing that I've learned to eat is like the loofahs, the scrubbing pads. We grow them here, and when they're small, you're able to eat them.
Some people have new uses for vegetables and plants that we're accustomed to eat a different part. For example, the Chinese people or the people of Chinese origin in the garden tend to eat the pea shoots, not the peas themselves.
There's a lot of vegetables that we're growing here that we wouldn't see, but because we have all these refugees and different people from different countries, they've brought the seeds in and they grow them. We have a communal area, and the vegetables that are grown in that communal area, I harvest and I take over to RBJs, which help the elderly and disabled have access to organic vegetables.
I manage a pantry at the Rebecca Baines Johnson Residential Tower through my organization, which is Serafina. Our mission is to feed people and to bring health and happiness to seniors and handicapped people. When I was growing up, my grandma always healed us with herbs. I grew up with her. So for us, high-tech medicine was Pepto-Bismol. Really? So when I moved here to Texas from Puerto Rico, I became immediately interested in the local herbs and foliage and started learning more about it. And I asked the garden for help by giving us a pantry and by giving us the harvest that they have here in the communal areas. So we have more fresh food, more quality food.
Volunteer site managers and plot owners keep communal areas in tip-top shape. They also welcome community volunteers, like students from St. Edward's University one-day projects.
I have not gardened before, but coming here you learn so much, not just about the plants that we work with, but how each plant works with other plants and how overall it helps the community.
That's another goal, is just getting young people involved.
We are in a partnership also with the AARP Foundation, which has a wonderful program to give people who are 55 and older an opportunity to retrain for jobs.
And I had this lady, they just drove up, and she had her own gloves and everything. She goes, oh, my husband is at the Hilton, and he's here for a conference, but I didn't want to stay in the room, so I had noticed this garden before, and so I decided to come over here and see if I could maybe help. So I was like, oh, sure.
We have people constantly coming and walking around, either from the RBJ Senior Center or from the neighborhoods behind us, people coming up and down Waller to go to the Lakefront Park. So a lot of interest in what we're doing, and people will stop us and ask us, what's going on in this space? What is this all about? Can we help out? Can we volunteer?
Yeah.